As Mr. Rogers used to say, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood, a wonderful day. It is. I am so proud of this team. You lose a starter as valuable as Alex Peacock to flu, and his backup. In other words, you know, we have 2 point guards. Actually, we have 3 on the team, but Marlon is redshirting. Then you have a couple of off guards, and then you have a couple of small forwards, and we had Alex and Q, Quentin, are both what we call our forward position. And then we have 3 centers, Eric, Zoe, and Chandler. And Akeem was recruited to play 3 and 4. And he hadn't played very much because he missed the first 6 weeks of school because of a meniscus tear. And he's been behind. And we really haven't given him much of opportunity. And here he comes, and I mean, his stats are not great, but I thought he did a wonderful job for somebody who's hardly played. And I'm so happy for him to have his day in the sun. I'm happy for this team that they pull together like this and realize that they can win even when they're missing a couple of important pieces to the puzzle. We found out yesterday. Practice started at 1:45. I got a call from 1 o'clock, at 1 o'clock from my trainer saying that Quentin's got got fever, and he's sending him to the clinic, school clinic. We watched film at 1:45. We stretched, let him shoot a little bit. And then here comes Blade, the trainer, saying, Quentin's got the flu, coach. He's out tomorrow. And here comes Peacock getting treatment for a back, lower muscle back muscle soreness, and gets off the table and complains about feeling dizzy. I think he's going to practice. Blake takes his temperature. He's got fever. Send him to the clinic. And midway through practice, Blake comes and tells me, Coach, he's got the flu too. He can't go tomorrow. Now, this is in the middle of practice. I mean, I felt like the commander of the Alamo finding out that 300 replacements are not coming, you know. I mean, it was, then you tell your team that, and you wonder how they're going to react. Then I tell Akeem he's going to start. I thought he's going to have a heart attack. So you can understand why this victory is so special. Last home game, and we did it without 2 key players and without with no time to prepare, really. So I'm very proud of this team and what they did today, and especially want to give kudos to Akeem Dashner. Can I answer questions? Excuse me. I expected a close game like that if we were going to win. And I'm not feeling good either, so as you haven't figured that out. Though I know I don't have the flu. The game we expected was, if we were going to win, I thought it was going to be a tight game like that, to answer your question. And I thought that, I'm going to loosen this tie. That might be one reason why my throat is bothering me. But the kids really came out, played hard, played great D. We held them to, what was it, the first half, 27% shooting and 38 for the game. That is a very good basketball team out there. Louisiana Lafayette has got a talented team, and he does a good job. They got several players. Gant, Miller, and Russell. Gant, Miller, and Stroman. There were 2 starters, Gant and Stroman, on the team last year that won the title, and Miller was their 6th man. And Hardy played on that team. So did, I believe, Hayes played on that team. I don't know about Russell. Russell sure had a big game tonight, though. We did not expect him to have that kind of game. Yeah. I'm sorry. Any other questions?
After tonight's performance, if you're going to come back
he needed that after that Thursday night game. I know he felt bad about his. He was 3 for 16. And I really think he took it personally as far as the loss is concerned. So it was only fitting that he hit that shot that won the game for us. But it was huge, and that's what great players are made of. So, but it was big, huge. Say that again, please. Well, I thought we lost some of our poise and letting them come back, but we really did not. We got Eric Terry in foul trouble, and again, Alonzo Sule, he had 10 rebounds, but offensively he did not have it tonight, and he really didn't have it Thursday night, and that's so. Well, Eric is having a heck of a last half of conference play. He's such a great kid. He's worked so hard, lost about 40 pounds from when he got here. Does extra work in the weight room. And but we took Eric out, and I think that they made a run on us when we took Eric out, particularly inside. They got some buckets inside that more so on Alonzo than they did on Eric. But 10 rebounds by Alonzo, that's what he had, is huge. I didn't realize he had 10. So that was a big, his 10 rebounds are big. He had 25% of our rebounds. We had far too many turnovers, and most of them were just travel calls. I know that Sule had 2 or 3. I know Eric had 1. I know that Mason had 1. And, so I just said we can't turn it over because they're one of those teams that just quickly takes it and goes. And that's more turnovers than I hope to have. But here's the good thing about the type of turnovers. When they call traveling call, they can't take the ball and fast break with it. They got to take it out of bounds. And if you're going to have that kind of turnover against this team, that's the kind of turnover you want. One where they can't convert it into a fast break play points. What? Why wouldn't I? They've been here all year long. I did that at Stephen F. too. They embraced us, and we beat this same team. Well, not the same team, the same coach at Sam Houston in a big win when we captured a title in '08. And the crowds have been great, and so I wanted to do that. Win or lose, thank them for coming, because they've been here all year long. Why? I don't understand the question. I mean, you don't do that after every game. You just do that when you have your final home game, because you won't get to see them probably anymore.
Has it been gratifying to see that support grow?
Without a doubt, for sure. It's been wonderful for the players' morale. It makes you feel like we're doing something that has people proud, and it makes all the effort and work that you put in worthwhile.
So it's probably a tough Louisiana team, but they only led for 19 seconds. What were you most impressed with by your defense tonight?
Well, I was more impressed with the first half than the second half. I'm telling you, they shot 50% in the second half, and in particular they hit some. What were they? 4 for 10, and it looks like all 4 happened in the last 5 to 8 minutes of the game. But this is a high-scoring team. I believe they score in the 80s. So they only scored 62, and we're short 2 people. So for the game they shot 38%. So I mean, there it is. We made them play our game, and we didn't let them shoot their ball very well overall. Though they did have a pretty good last 10 minutes against us. You just can't keep a guy like Jakeenan Gant down. He's too good. And Stroman is also a very good player. We were fortunate that I'm happy with the defense put on Stroman with 8 points, and he had 7 assists, and that's about his average in assists. That's about 4 or 5 less than he averages per game. Jalen Shedd is a really a very good defensive guard, and that's something that we really haven't had since O.J. Black was here. O.J. Black was a very good defensive guard, and before O.J. there was a young man named Wes Davis. That was a very good guard, defensive guard. But Jalen does more things for us in terms of defense, penetrating, and he scores. I like what he does. 8, 9 points a game, 6, 7 assists a game. Great defender. It's a big reason why we're winning.
What does this mean for this program, considering how difficult games have been against Louisiana?
It's a big win. I'm not even thinking about that right now, Nick. I'm thinking about we're tied for first place. No, we're in first place because Georgia State lost today. Now we got to go. We got to be road warriors. Go on the road and win 3. When I looked at this schedule, I said that last 5 games are going to be hard. But we're in a position where we can control our own destiny. And I don't know if Georgia Southern will lose again. I know they won, but I don't know. They got 3 home games. And they only probably, I think they played the Arkansas schools. And I hope they can upset them, but they played Georgia State the last game, you know, and both of them had the same number of losses, so it doesn't matter. One of them's got to lose. So we're now 1 up on Georgia State, and I want to say 1 up on, is Georgia Southern 6 or 5 losses? 6? So I guess we're 2 up on everybody but Georgia State with 3 to go. You know, and I tell you, I just want that one. I want that 1 seed because it guarantees us an NIT bid in the event something happens. And certainly next thing, I want that 1 or 2 seed so you play only 2 games. Okay? So.
The losses these guys have talked a lot about falling off that high horse. What is it going to take for these guys to remain on that with these stadiums so much?
I think the loss Thursday night will help. You know, listen, their demeanor before the loss on Thursday was so much better than their demeanor against Georgia Southern after we beat Georgia State. That one, I was very angry with them. You know, they just didn't realize that, hey, man, who cares? I mean, you won. It's over. Move ahead. But they just couldn't come down off that cloud. And that Georgia Southern loss brought them home. I thought they wanted, if anything, they might have been too tight against Georgia, too ready. Sometimes you can be thinking about the game too much. And then you don't shoot it well like we did on Thursday night.
Coach, is this the type, you obviously mentioned that, you're thinking about the fact that you're back in first place all by yourself. Is this the type of team that embraces that talk and that mindset as they go through the schedule, or are they more of a, we'll let the schedule take care of itself?
We're at the point, we're just saying play it 1 game at a time. Play it 1 game at a time now. Don't think ahead. We got a day off. We got a little time today, time tomorrow to enjoy, and said I'll go out with family and friends. Get up in the morning, go to church with my lovely wife. We'll go get something to eat and give her a kiss, and I'll go back to work. And then she becomes a widow for another week. That's a good question. They have been good on the road. And I brought that up to attention. I'm saying, why have we lost 3 at home and only 1 on the road? And I don't, you know, they don't answer. I don't know if it's we want to perform well in front of the crowd, that anxiety, or is it because mom's here, girlfriend's here? I just tell them you got to focus more. You just got to focus. And I do believe that Thursday night they were not. It wasn't that they were not ready. If anything, they may have been. Really, it comes down to, and we gave them a lot of credit, but Nigel did not play well Thursday night. How about that? You know, we win a lot of games because of Nigel, and Nigel will tell you. You know, I was probably more responsible for that loss than anybody Thursday night with my shooting. So he's pretty good about that. He doesn't duck responsibility. Anybody else?
What does it mean to get this win on Sunday night?
Big time, you know. But, you know, and it gives the players confidence. We lost 2 pretty key players. and we still won. And they're a happy group in there. They're very happy, and I'm happy for them. I'm happy for the crowd, you know, happy for the parents of the two seniors and the manager, senior manager. You know, I'll tell you one thing. The crowds that came to our games got a good show this year because there was a lot of close games. You know, I may be 5 years older by the end of this year is up, but you know, but I know some people got some excitement this year.
How do you, when do you expect them back to practice?
Say again?
Said the two players that were out there.
I think they'll be back Monday, because they didn't have fever today, and you have to be without fever for 24 hours. They'll check them tomorrow. Hopefully they'll be fine.